Good afternoon, everyone. We are doing the Kiwi Club show and tell with co-founder and our favorite creator, Debbie Budge. She's going to be showing you the Tell Your Story kit. I feel like it's been a minute since we've been able to get on here and chat. We haven't had a craft in the past few weeks. I know we're busy. We just had the new release. If you haven't checked out our latest new release products, we have so many wonderful things. Gingerbread, a new template there, nativity, the idea book, the sketchbook. So we have quite a bit of new things. What else can I update everyone on? We're officially tomorrow in the month of December, which is very exciting. We have some new classes up. If you haven't gotten the email yet this morning, go to kiwilane.com/events. We added a fun class for families, build your own family snowman gift bags. Super fun for you to invite the kids over and do some crafts together. Okay, so if you're here, drop a comment. Hi, Gail. Happy Tuesday. Debbie, if you want to introduce yourself and say hi.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I see Gail also from sunny Florida. I have sisters in Florida, Gail.
Gail, I bet you're experiencing beautiful weather. Probably the most beautiful weather. I'll tell you, where Kiwi Lane's located up in Idaho, it is cold and it is not pleasant, but we are working our way through it. Well,
it is beautiful and about mid-70s here in Texas right now. Really pretty fall.
That's so nice. Well, Debbie, if you are ready to share, I will let you take over.
All right. Thank you so much, Sonia.
Yep. Bye. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be with you today. It's the very last day of November. We're squeezing this show and tell in. I was actually scheduled for last week, but I was out of town. So I ended up having to push it back. So I've got a window in front of me and I kind of shut it down a bit because the sun, you can even see in my glasses reflection, the sun's trying to creep through the blinds. So I hope I'm not too dark for you. If I'm too dark for you, let me know and I'll twist open the blinds a bit and give us a little more sunlight. But I am happy to be with you today and share with you, actually we're doing today the October Kiwi Club kit. I want to make sure I have comments up here. Okay, remember for those who are Kiwi Club members, so those who aren't may not realize, I am going to get some light coming in. Hold on, a little bit more light. There we go. You can see the lights on me. So, but October was held up in October when it was supposed to be delivered. So we ended up sending November Kiwi Club in October, and Shiloh did that for you last month. And so here in November, you got your October Kiwi Club kit, Tell Your Story. And that's the one I'm going to share with you today. Just what I did with it. We all, Susan, Shiloh, and I get a kit and we just scrapbook with it. We get the same thing you do. This was this new insert that we had. I think this was the first kit that we had the extra paper. And that meant for me that instead of two two-page layouts, I could actually do 3 two-page layouts. And so I'm going to share those with you today and just some things I did with it. I really actually loved this Kiwi Club. I kind of remind anyone every month every month that I get to do this, which is every other month, that I don't see these kits beforehand, even though I'm a co-founder and I work for Kiwi Lane. That's not my department that I work in. And so I don't see them until they arrive at my door. Just like you, they're a surprise for me too. So it's always such an exciting time to open it up and take a look. I've seen December's and I'm working on January's right now. I need one more layout to finish up and get that ready here this week. So really cute things coming up. So hang in there, they're really adorable. So I want to share with you the 3 layouts that I created with this Tell Your Story. Now, immediately when I saw this, I knew that I would love it because it's about stories or books or your own story or journaling, those types of things I knew would work for my family because I have a family of readers and book lovers and storytellers. And so the pictures you'll see on my layouts are my family and the things that they have. And I was able to capture those parts of them with these layouts with this kit this month. It was really fun. So I want to start with this first one. I'm just going to show you one page at a time. So this one, I loved the whole Life is Full of Wonder. The title card I used is maybe it's not about the happy ending, maybe it's about the story. And so these pictures of my daughter, Rachel, are kind of about her story. Now the sun's coming out again, so I'm going to shut it. We get clouds and stuff. There we go. Okay, so this is Rachel, and Rachel is a book lover. She actually raised my kids. I homeschooled for a long, long time. And one of the things that we did was we read. We had books around all the time. So we read stories together, and then we just read and shared our favorite books and things like that. So Rachel grew up in that environment, and she loves books. And I want to read this card, and then I'll kind of point out a couple of things, because this really explains her and so many others, I think, for sure. So it says, the one thing that you have that nobody else has is you. Your voice, your mind, your creativity, your story, your vision. So write, draw, build, create, play, and dance, and live only as you can. So let's see if I get this right. I don't know if it's backwards, if it should go this way or that way on your side. But this is what I did with Rachel. She is so creative. She has so many, she writes poems and songs and thoughts and little stories, but she also loves books. She's graduated with a bachelor's in English Lit and is going on to grad school. Her goal is to become get her graduate degree in library science, preservation, that type of thing. She really loves books. But she's also spent the last 2 years learning to draw and paint and everything. So she's just very creative. And so these are just some pictures of her that I actually took some, and she took some and wanted to share. Let me show you what I used for it. So the featured templates for October included large brackets, tiny accents, and tiny tags. And these, of course, you don't have to use, but these are some that we try to focus on so that we can show you how best to use them or some fun ways to use them. So also with this, I used a lot of the tiny sets I noticed on this particular layout. So there's tiny plants and tiny accents over here. And this is the a la carte She Loves Me. Let me show you that template. This one, you can see that. And that's just this one right here. And then it's just layering. Tiny Bonnie went right over the top here in the center. And we just have, you know, some fun tiny sets right here. And they can just layer so beautifully together. I also love to use the tiny plants that is fairly recent set. So it's fun. And then the templates that came with the set, and I want to show those to you. So the templates that came with our Kiwi Club were this frame, and then this one that looks kind of like a pocket, and I used it right here. I just tucked it in this way. You can see that. Put it in there, which was fun. Also, it came with this owl. There you go. This really adorable pencil. A date tag. Does that say date on that side or that side? Which was fun. And a corner. I love corners. I love them because you can add just a touch of color wherever you need to. And I'll show you some of the ways I did that on here. I have the corner here. This is that pocket looking tag. And this one is actually the date tag cut in half. So I just took this, traced it out, cut it in half, and kind of stuck those up there. On this side, I used the pencil, which I loved. Layering, you can cut little bits. This was on one of the title cards, and I just cut bits to make like an eraser and a point. And here's our tiny tags and tiny plants. And if you don't have tiny plants, you're missing out, because this is the most useful thing. Trying to get it the way I do it, but it's so fun just to add a little pop of color, a little drop somewhere. And then this one on top is Blossom, which is this template. And some more layers of the tiny plants right there in the middle. You use the large brackets, both sides, one on each side. And one thing that I did do on this one was after you do 2 or 3 layouts, you can start running out of some of the paper. So I wanted a frame here to go along with the other one. So I didn't have enough paper left to do the whole frame. So I just cut out the part that was going to show here and then here at the bottom and tucked it under those pictures. And yeah, that's what I did to make that frame look, but I didn't have all the paper I needed, so that worked. I want to share with you, I'm going to try and share my screen so you can see this a little better. Let's try this one. You can see both, I think. So can you tell me if you can see the idea book picture? Let me know if you can see the idea book picture. Give me a thumbs up or something like that. Okay, so if you could see the idea book picture, I'm not sure it's coming through on your end. I can't actually see. Oh, good, thanks, Beth. Yes, you can see it. Can you still see it, Beth? Is it half? Ah, there we go. I'm going to make it bigger. How's that? Can you see all of it now, Beth? If you can see all of this now, your idea books are available free every month. It's gone now. Okay, let me fix that. Hold on. I will share again. And then I'll make this the full size. And now tell me if you can share that, if you can see that. Ah, I can see it now, so you must be able to. You're seeing it a little smaller. Oh, there you go. You can see the whole thing now. So if this is the actual picture from the idea book, you can download it free from kiwilane.com. You just have to go in and find the idea book for the month that you're looking for and download it. You go through the checkout process for the free product, but what that does is it pops it into your downloads in your account. So when you're logged in, you can go to my accounts on the left menu and you can click on my downloads and then you can bring them up. And that's what I did to show this one. So this is a little easier picture for you to see. So these are the different templates that I used. This is the frame that I kind of cut a little piece. I cut the top and the bottom and tucked them both in. And then just the different things that I did. So that was the first one. The second layout I made, and let me know if you have any comments, though I'm actually having trouble seeing some of the comments. Ah, good. Perfect. Okay, thanks, Beth. So the second one is actually the sketch of the month. And I don't know how many of you remember that we have a sketch of the month. So Susan usually provides that. I'm going to get up to it here somewhere. And I wanted you to see it. Scrolling through those. It will show actually right here. So if you can see this, it's coming up right there in the right corner. That's the sketch that was provided. And the beauty of the sketch of the month is that you can just copy it if you want to, or you can use it as an idea that will spark kind of, you can do your own thing with it. Maybe use just part of it, or you see a little something in it that you want. And I really liked this because this one I basically copied. I'm going to pop out for a minute, pop back in. And so that you can see this. So this is the sketch of the month. I used that sketch, pull this off, and it uses this frame. Remember, this frame came with it. And this one, this is the one side of it where we had the large bracket and then the frame. And then I used a lot of the little title cards on this one, but I used it with the tiny tags because you can take any tiny tag you want and put it around one of the cards that will fit like this. And then you just cut it out and you pop it in. And it's so easy, but it's a great way to add some of those sentiments and different title cards in there and use them up. And also I loved this, this particular title card had I love books. And right next to it was some gold paper in one of the other title cards. And I just laid the pencil stencil right over the top of it, but I did it offset so that it covered both, it caught both the wording and the gold that was sitting next to it. And then I just popped kind of a dark brown little point on there. So that quickly made a pencil for me, but allowed me to go ahead and use the title card. The other side of that, used this 3-down side, was really fun. We used tiny tags again, just like the sketch showed. Really, I basically almost copied this sketch. So that's a fun thing that you can do sometimes when you just want something quick, or you just don't have an idea, and you can just look at one of the sketches and use it. So I did this and then this cute owl. Now this owl comes in the set, see? And so I just did that. I used a black pen. You can see how I just traced out the eyes, actually outlined the eyes, cut a little nose. And these are 2 tiny brown brads. I still have brads. I've had brads for years and years now as a scrapbooker. And these were the little tiny ones, and they were perfect for the eye. And then I just cut out that little kind of wing. You can see it fits right on, popped it on. And then I used this from the trees set to make a branch that they could go on. It worked out really well, as you can see. All of these templates are listed in the idea book. So if you want to know, which templates I use specifically, or see that all together, you can download that idea book and see these as they're put together. One of the other things I like to do is add some texture sometimes. And sometimes it's just the simplest way that you can do it. But around this button in the middle of tiny accents, this flower, I just put a glue dot, one of the glue dots. And I just wound some of the string that I have around it and kept the button in the middle. But that ended up being, I did it on both sides because that's how I am. I like to balance things. You can see that right there too. I even strung some of that string through some buttons that I used as additional embellishments on the points of both of the brackets. So I'm again going to hold it up. We'll see if it's right side or wrong. I'm pretty sure it should be this way. Let's see if you can see that. Kind of, or this way. It's hard on my end to see which way is which. So that was fun. It was a quick and easy one. I was able to do that. And I also wanted to remind you that we just released recently this scrapbooking sketches, 180 or more sketches. And again, I recognize this one. You'll see that another month. But you can just go through and find a sketch that might spark an idea in your mind. Or maybe you have a certain number of photos. This one takes 5 photos. This one takes 4 photos, or you can make the photos different sizes to use. So it's fun. This is fun. It's very handy, and I'm starting to try and use that more just because it's such a great resource. And then one more, the last one I did is where I kind of played a little bit more. I have readers and poets and singers and artists in my family. I'm not sure what genes combined with my husband, but that's what we seem to produce. And so on this layout, it used the tag, The Story of Us. And what you'll see are pictures of, this is David, if you all remember him, Susan's husband, and used to work at Kiwi Lane and did those Married to a Scrapbooker videos. But we went to a small town in Texas, Christmas of 2019, before COVID shut everything down. And we saw a little play there, and then we walked around the little tiny square, all decked out with Christmas, and we found a bookstore. And I don't know how many of you love those, but if we see a bookstore anywhere, we go into it. And so we went into this bookstore, and one of the first things we saw were the steps of the bookstore, painted like books. And that's Rachel, our book lover, and Abby, my grandkids, and my daughter. But it was fun. We snapped some pictures there, and I saw this kit and knew that's exactly what I would use for it. And these are still I'm using the large brackets, so you can use other things. I was kind of focusing on large brackets. On this one, though, I added Abbey Road. And on this side of the layout, I just used Abbey Road, 2 different ones, and they're listed. I've got them here somewhere. But you can check out the idea book. Oh, they're there. Oh no, Aspen Court. Oh, I'm glad I checked. Aspen Court. So I used Aspen Court 3A and 3B, which is this wonderful curve, and that's what I put on the bracket side. And then I used Aspen 2B, which is this one, and you can see that down here, a little bit covered. And as I was trying to do the embellishments for this one, I really wanted to make some kind of a book. And I got this idea that I could make a notebook, and I wanted to kind of show you a little bit how I did that. I used on this again the owl and tiny accents and some tiny plants. I used this frame, and in the frame, I decided to try to tuck one of the tiny borders. And you can see that I did this as Breezy 2A, and it ended up looking so cute. It was a little longer than I needed, so I just clipped it off as this part of the frame came through. But I really liked the way that looked. I also, on this side, tucked into this border, I also used that corner piece that was in the set right here. And I really like the look of that too. And what you can't tell just by looking at this is that I didn't have enough paper to make this frame either, but I really wanted a frame on this side. So I ended up cutting out what I could, but this was all missing from the paper. So I cut out what I could, and then I just covered what the spots that were missing, and it worked perfectly. I was able to just make that look just like I had the whole frame. I like tucking things around and using paper the best that I can. So I want to show you what I kind of focused on. Let me know if you have any questions. But I decided to make a spiral notebook. I don't know if you can see that, but that spiral is sticking up. And I wanted to show you how I did that. First off, I just cut kind of 3 layers. I cut a background layer just out of brown, and I cut 2 different pieces, just, you know, a little bigger than 3x4, because that's 3x4. And I used my decal scissors. If you still have any of these laying around, they do come in handy still, to cut the edges to look like almost torn paper, like in a handmade notebook that you can get sometimes. But I really wanted to turn it into a spiral notebook. So what I did was, I have this gold wire. I've had this a long time. I think it was in my mother's stuff after she passed away. It's just an old, you can see that it's nearly gone. And it's very easy to work with. And I wanted to make a spiral, so I have chopsticks that are metal, but you could use a pencil, you can use a knitting needle, anything that you have. And I just wrapped it around it. It's still like that. So I just wrapped it around it. I know it's hard to see. Just easily, you just do that, and then just do this. Here, there you go. And then I pull it out and cut it off. Yeah, there we are. Scissors. Not my good scrapbooking scissors. I don't cut wire with that. But I have just a regular old everyday set. So I cut that out. And then I just stretched the wire to be as long as I needed it. And then I put it on the side. And if you can see closely, you can see a brad here and a brad there. And I was able to use either side of the little brad, top and bottom, and push that through the paper and open the flange on the back. And then I had a spiral notebook. It worked, and it was kind of fun to try to figure out how to do that. So yeah, it was fun. And because I have popped things on the page, you know, where you raise things up with using pop dots or buttons, you know, here's a button that lifts things up. I try to balance them when I do that. So when the scrapbook is closed, one side isn't sinking down or getting smashed. So that's what I did here. I made sure I had 3 things popped up here. This is popped. This is popped. The button pops it. So that when this notebook is closed, the owl is popped and the notebook is popped. So when they're put together and they're closed, they support each other. And so there's not this, no smashing or indenting of the paper. So that worked out for me. So those are the 3 things that I made with October's Kiwi Club. It's the end of the month, so I'm hoping so many of you also have played with it. I go through and I look at all of your things that you post, and I love it. I think, why didn't I think of that? Have you ever done that? I did things that came out of my head, or that were sparked by the templates and by the papers and by the pictures I had. You did the same thing, and it's so fun to share and to see each other's ideas and to share those. So I'm happy that I had a chance to share with you. I'm just going to quickly look at the comments in case anyone has a question. Florida. Oh, from Texas, Karen Frank. Hi. Nice weather today, huh? I hope it is in your part of Texas. From North Carolina, Kay Jones. Hi, Kay. I'm actually headed to North Carolina this weekend, so I hope the weather's good when I get there. And hi, Leslie, Denise, Beth. Thanks for helping me out there. And I don't see any questions. Oh, yeah, Beth agrees that a sketch really helps things go quickly. It's fun. If you just want to sit down and no stress at all, you can go through those sketchbooks or use the one that's in the idea book every month. That's exactly what I did this time. I might have moved a flower. I feel like I have something on my nose. And that's exactly what I did. And it went quickly and it turned out great. So thanks, Deb. I'm glad you like that idea. You know, I do these things when it's my turn. I really don't feel like I have much to share, but I tried to share some of the thoughts that I had and some of the ideas that I have. I hope they've been helpful to you. Remember, today's the last day to order or join Kiwi Club to get the December kit, or you can get those later on also. I hope that you try it out. It's fun. The papers are great. This new style of kit, you've had 2 now with it. And I'm really grateful for the extra paper and the ideas. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And since tomorrow's December, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season with your family. And I thank you for joining me today. You guys have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.